Hey everybody, it's me, Rick Acosta, the Dodger Card Collector, coming to you with another video. Today is Friday, August 4th. The weekend has begun. For me at least, I'm on a 3-day weekend. So I thought I would go ahead and get a video out before the big weekend. Baseball season's not winding down. We're getting into the heat of the pennant races here. Trade deadline is over. My Dodgers are managing to hold on to first place. How they do it with that rookie pitching staff, I don't know. I shouldn't even say rookie pitching staff. I should say minor league pitching staff. Picked up Lance Lynn at the trade deadline. So let's see what happens. We missed out on a lot of other players. Um, American League East, I'm still waiting for the Yankees to take this thing. I know they're in last place, but they're only 10 games back. They're only 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. All five teams in the American League East are are over 500 in a pennant race. So that's going to be an interesting race. Uh, National League, the Mets have started selling off practically everybody, with the American League West benefiting. Max Scherzer going to the Rangers, Justin Verlander going to the Astros. American League West is going to be tight. I have a feeling the Rangers got the best of the Mets, or got the best of the Astros by getting Scherzer as opposed to Verlander. I know Verlander, or I know that, Verlander just won the Cy Young Award, but I think he's turned a corner for the worse with age. Scherzer he burned out kind of with the Dodgers the short time he was with us, but he can put up some good numbers still. So let's see what happens in the American League West. I live close to the Angels, and I know Shohei Ohtani's having an amazing season. And the Angels are trying to get a wild card spot. I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Hobby wise, I'm going through I'm going through a different period right now. First, I'm going to share this box with you in a couple of weeks. This just arrived about 20 minutes ago. It is a 1963 starter set. Um, I'm currently going through a period of as a collector, we go through different periods. Are we going to buy cards? Are we going to buy supplies? Are we going to sit back? And personally, for me, I feel like a lot of cards have been coming in the mail the past few weeks. For you, it might not be anything. For me, it's like I feel like I've been buying a lot of cards. Knowing that I won this 63 starter set about 3 weeks ago, I have been slowly amassing some high numbers via Greg Morris and from the Burbank card store, and just been picking up maybe 20 cards here and there. I already had the Dodger team set. So some 41 play balls, which we're going to look at later today, have also been arriving. And I'm literally waiting for one more shipment from Greg Morris, and that's about 8 to 10 1963 high numbers. But from that point on, I'm going to enter into let's reassess what's going on here. Let's spend time putting our cards in our collection. Let's reflect and let's look at what we've just picked up, what we need to pick up going forward. I've got a big show, the Burbank Card Show's coming up in 4 weeks. So I want to be ready for that. So I want to do my best at just keeping the status quo the rest of the month. It's still early. It's only August 4th. But I'm going to try to lay low, famous last words. I'm going to try to lay low and not pick up too many cards between now and the Burbank Card Show. Like I said, this will give me time to see what I've got going. I'm obviously I've got this starter set, which I'll share with you guys in a few weeks. Um, winding I hate saying winding down. I'm getting pretty close on that 1941 play ball set. So that set is about to enter like a hit and miss phase, or picking up a card here and there every so often. I've been buying 1961 high number, the All-Star subset graded. I only need 6 of those, so that's another one where I'll pick up cards here and there. And I've also been buying 1961 just general regular high numbers here and there, but I think that's going to take a little bit of a back burner now that the 63s are there. So this gives me time to figure out what I want to do next going forward. Um, it's important to me as a collector. Uh, I am the curator of my collection, and I have to decide what's best for my collection. And some of you might be just like, well, just buy whatever you want. I go, no, I don't like to do that. I like to have a plan, and I don't want to buy a bunch of cards that I don't necessarily need. There's always one thing that John Newman always says, and I really take it to heart. He always says that you're the CEO of your card collection. And I totally agree with that. So, as the curator, as the content creators, the producer, as the guy who amasses stuff, in my little card room, which my friend Eric likes to call a museum, or a mini museum, um, it's important just to reassess and look at my budget. Make sure those credit card balances are zero before the Burbank Card Show. Luckily, I'm extremely close. I will be at zero by the middle of August. And that's saying that I don't go crazy using credit cards for cards. I do like to do, and I don't know if you guys do this, the PayPal 4 and 4. That really helps, and that helps me at least. And I use my debit card, so it's coming out of my savings account. But sometimes I'm like, I don't want to spend $200 right now on cards. But if you do the 4 and 4, it spreads out the payment $50 every 2 weeks. So that's something that I take advantage of. And I want to see those go down. I currently have 3 of them that I'm currently in the middle of, but I'd like to see those come down to like 0 or 1 before I make any more purchases of cards. So luckily things, as I said, are kind of going slow on the 41 play ball, even though literally last night, Mr. Greg Morris just posted about 10 1941 play ball cards that I'm staring at. They're all PSA 7s and 8s though, and in looking at the VCP on those cards are several $100s. So I'm keeping my eye on 2 or 3 of them that have lower VCP, but I don't see myself, if I'm lucky, I could score 1 or 2, but I'm not going to break the bank to try to win these cards, but we'll see what happens. All right, what do I got for you today? I have some pickups, all pre-war pickups, 1941 play ball, and 1 Diamond Stars card. So only 5 cards, so it's going to be really quick. So let's turn the camera around, and let me hit stop, and we'll see what I got for you. Okay, so I've got 5 pickups to share with you this week. Before I share with you, I told you I was going to share my 1941 play ball pickups. I have 1 additional pickup that arrived today that I had to share, a card I've always wanted, and that is this 1934 Diamond Stars, Al Simmons, in a PSA 4. Love this card. This is a great set. If I could somehow get a Hank Greenberg, maybe I'd consider starting one, but that's another story for another time. But this Al Simmons card, for some reason, there were 2 Al Simmons cards I really like. This one and his 1933 Gowdy card. And this one just stands out to me for some reason. And in doing research for this card, I didn't realize that there was a variation until last week. I noticed I was bidding on one that didn't have the Sox logo. So I go, no, I don't want that. I wanted the one with the Sox logo. So I picked this one up. And I call this, this happens every year. I call this the post-national hangover. This is my theory, and it seems to happen. It happened 2 years ago with the 53 Mickey Mantle. I don't remember last year what happened, but this year, my theory is that all of you guys who went to the National were so burned out. And from all the YouTube videos I've seen, you guys all came home exhausted and or sick and broke, that you guys decided not to buy cards, because I bought this card almost, I would say 40% off VCP. And it was a deal I couldn't pass up. But love this Al Simmons card. He was a Hall of Famer, 3-time All-Star, 2-time World Series winner with the Philadelphia Athletics, 2-time batting champion. He played for several teams, but as I mentioned, he played mostly for the Athletics, and he got traded eventually to the Chicago White Sox, ended up on several other teams. great Hall of Famer. There is one show when I bought this card, I was like going, it gave me an idea for a show that I will never be able to do, unfortunately, because I would want to show off the cards to you from that monumentous event. And that was from the All-Star game. I want to say it was the 1934 All-Star game, where Carl Hubble struck out Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe Cronin, Jimmy Fox, and Al Simmons. I don't think it was in that order. And I would love to show all those cards of those 6 players that I mentioned. Have the Hubble, have the Simmons, have the Cronin, have the Fox. I don't think I'll be getting a Ruth and Gehrig card anytime soon. So anyways, here is my 1934 Diamond Stars Al Simmons card. Okay, the rest of the cards are going to be from the 1941 Play Ball set. Here was Albert Broncato, or Broncato. I love how they put the nickname in there. He played 4 seasons with the Philadelphia A's. One of the many players whose career was interrupted by World War II for 3 seasons. Broncato served in the Pacific Theater, and he played on the Navy's All-Star Baseball team, composed of Major League Baseball players in the military service. So he was entertaining the troops in All-Star games with Joe DiMaggio and Phil Rizzuto, Bill Dickey, and Bob Feller. His career really ended. He played 10 games in 1945, I believe, and that was it. He called it a career at that point. But here he goes by Albert Broncato, but when I looked him up on Baseball Reference and even Wikipedia, they called him Al. Sam Chapman, he played 11 seasons with the A's from 1938 to 1951. He also missed 3 seasons while serving in World War II. Now, Sam was also a college football player. He started for the California Golden Bears under head coach Stub Allison, where he was first nicknamed Sleepy Sam due to his stolid temperament. He was named an All-American for the 1937 Pacific Coast Conference, which is now known as the Pac-12. And he was a national champion for the Thunder team. They were called the Thunder team, which went on to win the 1938 Rose Bowl. And that was the last time California has won that game. He was later nicknamed the Tiburon Terror, and Chapman was also an All-American college baseball player. He did turn down a pro football career after being drafted in the 3rd round of the 1938 NFL draft by the Washington Redskins in the NFL. And he made his debut in the majors with the Philadelphia A's on May 16th, 1938. And here's Sam Chapman featured in a PSA 5. Good color on light colors. The A's had these light backgrounds on their cards, and you're noticing so far every card I've shown is an A's card, but it's going to end after this one. Frank Damari. He played 12 seasons from 1932 to 1944, primarily with the Cubs and the New York Giants. 2-time All-Star, and he actually played in 4 World Series with the Cubs and the Cardinals. Didn't win any of them. Damari is one of 4 Pacific Coast League players, Pacific Coast League being the AAA minor league baseball. He was one of 4 PCL hitters to have had 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases in a season, along with Jock Peterson, Lefty O'Doul, and Hall of Famer Tony Lazzari. And here he is featured in a PSA 6. A good-looking background. And there's the back. Joseph Franklin Damari. And the last card is a card I have wanted for a very long time. Probably one of the first cards I wanted of this set. I wanted a Charlie Gehringer, and I wanted a Bobby Doerr. And I'll give you the background on this, on me buying this card in a moment. For those who don't know, Red Sox second baseman, Hall of Famer, 9-time All-Star. Played 14 seasons from 1937 to 1951. And when he was in the minors playing for the San Diego Padres of the old PCL in 1936, he met Ted Williams, his future Red Sox teammate, and they became close friends for many years. They were teammates for all of Doerr's career, and then he retired in 1951. In 1951, Doerr only played in 106 games. He retired that September after suffering from, he had a spinal problem for about 2 years. He retired pretty young. I think he was around 33 years old, so he could have played 3 or 4 more years. And Bobby was elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1986. And here he is in a PSA 5. As I mentioned to you, I've been staring at this card for a while. I kept finding them on eBay, and I was finding them roughly for a certain amount. And because I procrastinated too long, not only did the VCP number grow up by $50, so did the eBay winnings. And I didn't want to pay the extra money, but then I was looking at the All-Star Cards website. They had one at a little $10 below VCP. I stared at it for months, and I finally pulled the trigger this week. And sometimes when you're buying cards, you know, you want to try to get the card under VCP, and you keep noticing the VCP is going up, and a card that you noticed was $100 or $50 over VCP. Eventually the VCP lines up with it, and you're kind of like going, if I don't pull the trigger on this card's only going to keep going up. And that's what's happening with this Bobby Doerr card. But I just love the background, love the color on his stirrups. One of the great Red Sox players. This will probably be the only card of his I have in my collection. It's the first one I've ever owned. I don't see myself getting other cards of his. You know, never say never, but this is my 1941 Bobby Doerr. So let me give you some quick stats of where I am on the 1941 set. I am showing you this video here with 4 cards. I showed you a video a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, with 7 pickups. I've picked up about 11 cards in the last 2 months, which is really good. That's the positive. The hard part is I feel like if I'm not about to hit a wall, I'm about to. I have 56 of the 72 cards in this set, all graded, which is about 77% of the set. The issue really doesn't come in regards to the Hall of Famers. I need 4 Hall of Famers, Ted Williams, Bill Dickey, Lefty Gomez, and Chuck Klein. Those aren't difficult to find. Yeah, they hurt the wallet a little, but they're not difficult to find. Of the remaining 12 cards after those two, the DiMaggio brothers, Vince and Dominic DiMaggio, they're readily available. Not difficult to find. Again, it'll hurt the wallet a little. And then after that, the remaining 10, Johnny Vandermeer's in there. You don't always find him, but I've seen him there. He's always pretty expensive. Threw 2 no-hitters in a row. After that, I have 9 cards remaining, and I don't know how I'm going to find these cards. I'll keep looking as the Burbank card shows in a month. I'm hoping I'll find some cards there. But I wanted to let you know the players that I am looking for in case you know somebody who happens to have PSA graded cards. I'm looking to purchase. So I'm looking for number 5, Frank McCormick, number 22, Bob Johnson, number 24, Dutch Leonard, number 25, Gene Moore, number 48, Cecil Travis, number 49, Babe Dahlgren, number 57, Maury Arnovich, number 66, Harold Clift, and number 69, George Case. Those are in addition to those cards that I'm currently looking for. It's interesting because some people will say be patient, and I totally agree, be patient. But I'm noticing even in the videos I saw of you guys that were sent over from the National, Orlando took a lot of video. I watched all of his videos. I I watched all of his videos, and you always see Ted Williams, you always see Joe DiMaggio, you always see Hank Greenberg, but you don't see Cecil Travis or Babe Dahlgren floating around. If you go on eBay, even those cards are hard to find raw, ungraded. Same thing with some of these baseball card websites. I could pick up one or two cards, buy them ungraded, and submit them. It might come to that at some point, but I also want to find, if I'm going to buy ungraded cards, they have to be authentic and they have to be in at least VG to excellent condition, if not higher. So I'm being a little picky here, so I'm just throwing it out there. My goal this year was to buy 16 cards in 2023. I've accomplished that. So my goal for 2024 was the same goal, 16 cards. For me, that meant one card a month, and then an additional card each quarter. So I am going to try to start my 2024 goals, obviously now, and see if I can if I can try and pick up one card a month, I'd be able to finish this set in November or December of 2024. We'll see how that goes, though. You know how difficult it is. All right, everyone. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care.